हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे,
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
हरे
हरे,
हरे
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 राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम,
राम
राम
राम राम
राम
हरे
हरे हरे।
हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
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 कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 कृष्ण,
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 हरे,
हरे।
हरे, हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम,
राम
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 राम।
राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 हरे
हरे
हरे,
हरे।
हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे।
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि
हरे हरि
बोल,
हरि
हरि
बोल
हरि
बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल।
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद।
जय जय
जय जय
प्रभुपाद,
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद,
प्रभुपाद
जय जय
जय
प्रभुपाद।
जय प्रभुपाद।
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवादिताचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय।
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की।
जय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय,
ओम नमो
ॐ नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय,
ओम नमो
ॐ नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं
नारायणं
नमस्कृत्य
नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं,
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये।
ततो
ततो जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेष
नष्टप्रायेषु
भद्रेषु
भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया,
नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवत सेवया।
भागवतसेवया।
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवति
भगवति
उत्तमा श्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्ठिकी।
नैष्ठिकी।
Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 34. एवं नृणां क्रियायोगः, एवं
तं
नृणां
नृणं
क्रियायोगः
क्रियायोगः
सर्वे संसृतिहेतवः,
सर्वे
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 संसृतिहेतवः।
संस्कृतिहेतवः।
संसृतिहेतवः। स एवात्मविनाशाय,
स
स
एवात्मविनाशाय
एवात्मविनाशाय
कल्पन्ते कल्पिताः परे,
कल्पन्ते
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 कल्पिता परे।
कल्पिताः
कल्पितः
परे।
परे।
एवं नृणां क्रियायोगः,
एवं
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 नृणां
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 क्रियायोगः
क्रियायोगः
क्रियायोगा
सर्वे संसृप्ति हेतवः
सर्वे
सर्वे
संस्कृतिहेतवः
संस्कृतिहेतवः
स एवात्मा विनाशाय
त एवात्मा
एवात्मा
विनाशाय
विनाशाय
कल्पन्ते कल्पिताः परे
कल्पन्ते
कल्पन्ते
कल्पिताः
कल्पिताः
परे
परे
एवं नृणां क्रियायोगाः
एवं नृणां
नृणां
क्रियायोगः
क्रियायोगः
सर्वे संसृप्तिहेतवः
सर्वे
सर्वे
संस्कृतिहेतवः
स एवात्मविनाशाय
त एवात्मा
एवात्मा
विनाशाय
विनाशाय
कल्पन्ते कल्पिताः परे
कल्पन्ते
कल्पन्ते
कल्पिताः
कल्पिताः
परे
परे
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Word to word translation: Evam thus,
एवं thus
Nrinam of the human being,
nirnam of the human being,
Kriya Yogaha all activities,
kriya yoga all
All
activities,
activities.
Survey everything,
survey
Survey
everything,
Samsriti material existence,
samsamriti material existence,
existence.
Hetavah causes,
hetavaha causes,
say that,
they that,
Eva certainly,
eva
Eva
certainly,
certainly.
Atma the tree of work,
atma the
Atma
tree
the
of
Atma,
tree
the
work,
of
tree of
work.
work.
Vinashaya killing,
vinashaya
Vinashaya
killing,
Vinashaya
killing.
killing.
Kalpante become competent,
kalpante
Kalpante
become
Kalpante
become
become
confident,
confident.
confident.
Kalpitaha dedicated,
kalpitaha dedicated,
Pare unto the transcendence.
pare unto
Pare
the
unto the
transcendence.
transcendence.
Translation. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Purport. Fruitive work which has perpetually engaged the living being is compared to the banyan tree in the Bhagavad Gita, for it is certainly very deeply rooted. As long as the propensity for enjoying the fruit of work is there, one has to continue the transmigration of the soul from one body or place to another according to one's nature of work. The propensity for enjoyment may be turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. By doing so, one's activity is changed into karma yoga, or the way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. Here, the word Atma indicates the categories of all fruitive work. The conclusion is that when the result of all fruitive and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service, which will not only cut off completely the root of the banyan tree of work, but will also carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord. The summary is that one has to first of all seek the association of pure devotees who not only are learned in the Vedanta but are self realized souls and unalloyed devotees of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. In that association, the neophyte devotees must render loving service physically and mentally without reservation. This service attitude will induce the great souls to be more favorable in bestowing their mercy, which injects the neophyte with all the transcendental qualities of the pure devotees. Gradually, this is developed into a strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which makes him able to catch up the constitutional position of the grass and subtle bodies, and beyond them, the knowledge of the pure soul and his eternal relation with the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead. After the relation is ascertained by establishment of the eternal relation, pure devotional service to the Lord begins gradually, developing into perfect knowledge of the personality of Godhead beyond the purview of impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma. By such Purushottama Yoga, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one is made perfect even during the present corporeal existence, and one exhibits all the good qualities of the Lord to the highest percentage. Such is the gradual development by association of pure devotees. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु शुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी मामी हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय स्वामी ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी स्वामिने निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश। Hare Krishna, everyone. So I'll read translation once again. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of birth. So we are reading from this chapter where Narad Muni is instructing Srila Vyasadeva on Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very important chapter. So much information is there for us to learn, understand, and imbibe in our day-to-day life. And particularly towards the end of this chapter, when Narad Muni is concluding his instructions, these 7 or 8 verses are so super important, and particularly the purport which Prabhupada has explained further for our benefit. It all has got very deep, profound meaning. Even in this purport, if you carefully analyze it, Prabhupada has given everything just in a single purport, just one purport. Everything is there. Entire philosophy of Krishna consciousness, just in these 2 paragraphs. What is the problem with this material world? Prabhupada has very clearly identified, with the symptoms, what is the problem, and then what should be the solution, and what is the process. Everything is mentioned, just one purpose. So, we don't need to even go through all this Vedic scripture, this vast, ocean of Vedic scriptures. 4 Puranas, there are 108 main Upanishads, 4 Vedas, 108 main Upanishads, and 18 Puranas, so many other Smritis, etc. Just one Srimad Bhagavatam. And even if we are really carefully trying to understand, even one purport is giving the secret. It is open now. Just one purport is giving everything. And it is only like empowered Acharya like Prabhupada who could do it. He's empowered personality, and each and every word of his purport has got some deep, profound meaning. And as Prabhupada said, that his books will be like kind of law book for the humankind for next 10,000 years. So we are not far from the day when, people will be starting and getting doctorate degrees, PhD degrees on Prabhupada's books by, analyzing it and maybe writing further commentation, their understanding, and how Prabhupada has come up with all these purports. We will see that, in near future. So, I mean, just we can appreciate how much Prabhupada has given this treasure of knowledge. And even just a single purport which if we are able to understand and adopt that in our day-to-day life, our life will be successful. We'll see how that is there in this just one single shloka and its purport. So the context is that Narad Muni is instructing Vyasdeva and giving him this encouragement so that he can compile this great literature of Srimad Bhagavatam, because he was, Vyasdeva was not happy after compilation of all other Vedic literature. We saw earlier in the previous chapter how Narad Muni pointed out that Vyasdeva had not glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why he is not having this internal satisfaction. So he must, come up with this great literature where he can glorify Lord and his devotees. So, as I was telling, the towards the end of this chapter, when Narad Muni is concluding his instructions, we can get all the information about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, mainly about Bhakti Yoga, starting from Karma Yoga. We have got little, flavor here of Karma Yoga as well, but more towards Bhakti Yoga. And if we are able to follow these instructions, this human birth will be successful. This is what we can take away from this chapter as well. Now here, this particular shlok actually in continuation with the previous one, because if you see, it starts with evam. Evam means it is connected with something which was already spoken. And what was spoken in previous verse, where Narad Muni is saying that, if thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing. So that is the principle he has mentioned, and now he is explaining it further. So that is why this word is there, evam. Thus, something is already explained as a siddhanta principle, and now further example or explanation is giving. Thus, how that is, what is that which is applied therapeutically cure a disease which caused by that very same thing. So what is that? It is the activities, our action. And this is why Narad Muni is saying here, thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. So the activities on the one side is causing the perpetual bondage. See the word, perpetual bondage. What happened? Hare Krishna. I think it's better now. So yeah, perpetual bondage. It's like almost like for eternity. If we do not come out of this cycle, it's just going to continue this bondage, and it's be there since time immemorial. We cannot even trace it back because we are eternal soul. It's not that we have got this, this just lifespan of, some 30, 40 years, which we have seen in this lifetime. So many lifetimes. So the activities performed on the one side for own satisfaction, for own gratification, is the cause of bondage. That acts karmic reactions. And this is how Jiva is entrapped perpetually in this sansar chakra, which is, what is that called? Punarapi janman, punarapi maranam, punarapi janini jatre shainam. Right? Like repeated birth and death, and repeatedly, taking birth from the mother's womb. This is how it is said. This is sansar chakra. But the same work which is causing us this perpetual bondage can also free us from this bondage. But when that will happen? If those activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord. So this is the key here to understand. Same activity, if it is done for the self-interest, for own sense gratification, it creates bondage. It creates karmic reaction. But if that same activity, if that is dedicated to the service of the Lord, then that frees up from this material existence. Now, Prabhupada in his purport is starting with this the example of banyan tree, which is also there in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, where it is says, Urdha Moolam Adha Shakham Ashwatam Prahuravayam. So, it is compared this material existence like a banyan tree, which has got roots upward, and the trees and branches are downward, just like reflection. You can see, if there is a pond, and on the bank of the pond if there is a tree, so reflection is like upward down, so you can see the top of the like roots upwards, and the leaves and branches etc downwards. That is the comparison given here of this banyan tree. And banyan tree is like a huge, big. It's very, if you go inside, climb on that banyan tree, it will be almost like a dark. It is so dense. So this material existence is also compared with that banyan tree, and it is, certainly very deeply rooted. And Prabhupada further says, let's first talk about this fruitive work, because Prabhupada is saying fruitive work which has perpetually engaged the living being is compared to the banyan tree. So fruitive work, as I was earlier mentioning, is something which is done for own, sense gratification. So fruitive work means we are putting very hard labor, great endeavor, taking a lot of pain, hardship, just in the hope of that whatever will be achieved out of that labor and effort, that result I will be enjoying for my sense gratification, for my own satisfaction. This is fruitive work, putting certain actions very passionately, a lot of effort, in the hope of that whatever results are going to be achieved, I'll be able to utilize it and for my own sense gratification. This is fruitive work. And that comes uh, because of this propensity of enjoying, propensity of enjoying separately, actually from the Lord, separately. I will have my own enjoyment. I'm not going to serve Krishna. Whatever I achieve through my hard labor, this is for my self enjoyment. So in that way, it is very simple to understand, because now we are taking charge. So whatever actions we are doing, we are also responsible for that. We cannot complain in that case. We are putting actions, a lot of effort in actions, and then whatever result is achieved, I'm going to enjoy. I'm enjoying. So obviously, then whatever reactions are there, I'm also responsible for that. So this is how this propensity for enjoying the fruit of work actually results in continuous transmigration from one body to another, one place to another. So it is compared with that, again, taking that example of banyan tree, moving from one branch to another. Because this desire of satisfying our senses actually is unsatiated desire. It never gets satisfied. And that we all have this experience, that we think, okay, let me do this bit, then probably I'll be happy. Okay, I've got like 3-bedroom house. Okay, I'm still not satisfied after that. Maybe go for, upgrade it. Let's go for a 5-bedroom house. This car, then you get some new model. Okay, let's go for that one. This iPhone 14, 15, 16, whatever, in all these series, and this how they are bombarding with all these, advertisement, because they are able to tap on this propensity of human being to having a deep sense of desire to enjoy fruits of their hard labor. So it never gets satisfied. The more we try to satisfy it, it increases exponentially. So it is never satisfied. So in that way, you know, eating the fruit of one branch, this is still not giving me satisfaction. Okay, let me jump to that branch of that banyan tree. From that to another, yet another, like that. So that is compared taking from one body to another body. This means taking birth in different species of life. 8.4 million species of, that choices is there with us, but never get satisfaction. Just jumping from one branch to another branch of this banyan tree in the form of material world. So the problem is this propensity of enjoying the fruit of work. And with that propensity, whatever activities we are doing, that is binding us with karmic reaction, resulting in moving from one branch to another branch. That means taking birth from one species to another species. And that sansar chakra continues. And that's why it is perpetual bondage. It becomes a perpetual bondage. They're never coming out of that as long as we have this propensity to enjoy the fruits of work. And Prabhupada says then, for one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end of the banyan tree. Just continues there. So as long as we are attached to this material world, which is compared to this, deep-rooted banyan tree, there is no possibility of liberation. Because what happens that we, at the end of, a particular life, still there are unsatisfied desires. Then Lord gives an opportunity, okay, take another form, another birth, depending on your karmic reaction, and try to satisfy your desire. So that unsatiated desire, that forces us to take another form, another body, and continue wandering from one branch to another branch on this um, banyan tree. So this is the problem in this material world when we are doing our actions for our own sense gratification. And unfortunately, in the modern education system, we are being trained about this since our childhood, in the school, colleges, universities, our relatives, our own parents, everybody will try to give this knowledge that, okay, we become expert, and try to lord over the material nature, try to get maximum out of it so that we can live comfortably from material point of view. But unfortunately, that will never happen. That never happens because world is not designed in that way that we can, enjoy separately. Um, we may get some comfort temporarily, but there is everybody will have some other issue, some other problem. Nobody can claim that they have got uninterrupted enjoyment, material enjoyment in this world. Even the king of heaven, Indra, he is also disturbed at times. He has also lot many things to worry. Sometimes demons, they attack the kingdom of heaven, and they just overthrow Indra as well. So he's also under lot of anxiety. So this is what is the nature of this material, dukhalyam ashashvatam. And again, going back to this example of banyan tree. So as it is also said, it is this banyan tree, in the form of banyan tree, this material world is actually perverted reflection of spiritual world. So our propensity of enjoyment is not wrong, but the problem is that we are trying to enjoy separately from Krishna in this material world for our own sense gratification. That is the problem. And what we are doing, we are trying to capture or enjoy the fruits of that banyan tree, which is the image. So suppose if there is a tree, on the riverside or the bank of a pond, and there is a reflection. Obviously, fruits will also be seen in that reflection, and we are just trying to capture the fruit from the reflection. Will we be ever able to get those fruits? No, because they actually are not existing. So that way, the material enjoyment is like that only. We are trying to capture the fruit from the image, whereas the actual fruit is there somewhere else. So this is the reflection, and there we are trying to search for the happiness and joy. And in that way, just thinking, okay, oh no, as Prabhupada says, hoping against the hope. Okay, let me try this, let me try that. In that way, just sansar chakra continues. So this is the problem when the work is done for our own satisfaction. Now, what is the solution? So solution, Prabhupada is saying that propensity propensity for enjoyment, that must be dovetailed or turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. So that is why, so it is the matter of consciousness, changing that consciousness from, trying to enjoy, for own sense gratification, from that to the satisfaction of Krishna. So that consciousness, that propensity has to change. And that's why Prabhupada has given the name of this movement as Krishna consciousness. Actually, it is that consciousness which is important. And then that will lead into action. So from change, same activities done for the sense gratification is going to create bondage, perpetual bondage, as Prabhupada is saying, as we have just discussed about that, how it is perpetual bondage. But the same activity, if it is done for the satisfaction of Krishna, then that will free up from this karmic reaction. There won't be any karma. And this is what Prabhupada is saying. This activity, then one's activity is changed into karma yoga, or the way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. So this is very important. Natural tendency, Prabhupada is mentioning here. So generally, human beings, they are very attached to performing certain work. So that is the natural tendency. And obviously, everything leaving aside is not that easy. So Prabhupada is here saying that that natural tendency of doing activity or engaging with the work, that has to be dovetailed. Keep doing work, perform your duty, but do it for the satisfaction of Krishna. So in that way, spiritual perfection can be attained. So that's why it is said that nobody, it is not said that, okay, you leave everything and go to some forest, or go to in some cave of Himalaya and do deep meditation. Nothing. In fact, Arjuna was ready to leave everything aside and was ready to go into forest and beg for his living. But Krishna said, no, you are a Kshatriya, your duty is to fight, so you have to fight, but do it for my satisfaction. So that is the example which we can see from Arjuna as well. And how that is, when it is done for the satisfaction of Krishna, then there is no karmic reaction. So that we also discussed, that if we are doing it for our own satisfaction, then we are also responsible for its actions, good or bad, whatever it is coming, we are responsible. And that way, we are getting its karmic reaction, which results into repeated cycle of birth and death. But when it is being done for the satisfaction of Krishna, dedicated to Krishna, then Krishna takes in charge, and he can make us like sinless. Aham tam sar papebhyo moksheshami ma sucha. He says that in Bhagavad Gita as well to Arjuna. Sardham parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. So in that way, he is declaring that all these sinful reactions will be nullified if we are doing it for the service of Krishna, for his satisfaction. So the solution problem we discuss, and the solution which Prabhupada is giving is to dedicate the activity for the satisfaction of Krishna. So same activity, one side it is creating bondage, but when it is done for the satisfaction of Krishna, dedicated to Krishna, then it frees up from this material existence. And that way, these two verses are interlinked. That same thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing. And what is that very same thing? Is the man's activities. Um, Dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. So the problem and then solution. And then Prabhupada is not just leaving us there. In his purport, is very nicely explained the process as well. Okay, I've understood the problem. I've understood, what should be the goal, what is to be done, but how? How to do that? So Prabhupada empowered Acharya in just one purport. He's explained the process as well. Full prescription medicine, every treatment, everything is given in just one purport. And in the previous verse we were discussing last week, chikitsitam, chikitsa is like treatment. In Sanskrit, treatment is called chikitsa. So this is here, Prabhupada is also giving treatment in his one purport. And this is what I was telling, that in just one purport, everything is there. If one is able to understand one simple, a single purport, everything is there. You don't have to go through all other vast ocean of Vedic scripture. This is so empowered, explanation which Prabhupada has given. Each and every word and sentences has deep, profound meaning. So now, what is the solution? Process. Process Prabhupada has mentioned in the second paragraph. So Prabhupada is saying first, summary is that one has to first of all seek the association of pure devotees. And then Prabhupada also defines who is pure devotee. So Prabhupada is saying that, who is not only learn in the Vedanta, but are self-realized souls. Tattvadarshina, as Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidya paripaten pariprashnen sevaya ubdekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So that tattvadarshina, who is self-realized, knows the truth, and then unalloyed devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. So Prabhupada has given this, definition, the qualities of this devotee whom we should seek association and take guidance. And then, so the first is that association with a pure devotee. And then what is the next? Rendering loving service. Prabhupada says physically as well as mentally. And which is there, paripaten means surrendering, and pariprashne, sevaya, service. And service, how that can be done, particularly, for gurus, yes, there is two kind of services which can be offered. Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. Vapu Seva is like rendering physical service, and Vani Seva, which is by fulfilling the orders of the spiritual master, which is very, very important. And even we can do that Vani Seva to Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada has instructed, if we follow that, we are serving Prabhupada. So all these, purpose Prabhupada has taken great, labor and pain to dictate and write these purports. So if you are reading these purport carefully, trying to follow that, we are actually serving Prabhupada as well. And what happens next? The great souls then bestows their mercy. So if we follow those instructions, we are serving. By following the instructions, we get mercy. So, and with the mercy, what happens? Then all the transcendental qualities starts manifesting. All the transcendental qualities of pure devotee starts manifesting, which is again, like association and with the bhajan kriya, this anartha nivritti. So if transcendental activities are getting manifested, it means all other bad qualities are also we are getting rid of. That is getting destroyed, and the transcendental qualities are getting manifested. How that happens? Because of the mercy. The great devotees, if they are satisfied, then we get all their mercy, and that mercy is obtained by following the instructions. Then what happens next in the process? Prabhupada is saying, then we get a strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastime of the Lord. That is ruchi level. When we start getting this attachment, the taste of hearing, from that point of view, things are much easier. Once we get the taste, because if you have got the taste of something, obviously we cannot live without that. If you are getting attachment to this taste. So here, strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, that develops. And then what happens next is, then we understand our constitutional position. We understand about, true nature, that the difference between body and soul. And not only that, if we are soul, then there is super soul. And then what is our relationship? And what we have to do? What is our job? What is our, roles and responsibility? If we have understood soul and there is a super soul, Supreme Lord, then that relationship is also understood, um, which is like our eternal relationship with Krishna. And Prabhupada also mentions here that this understanding of, this knowledge, developing into perfect knowledge of the personality of Godhead beyond the purview of impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma. So three aspects, as we also studied in the beginning chapters of this kind only, that Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. So it is not that with this process one will be only able to understand Brahman realization or Paramatma realization. They are also valid, but they are incomplete. Brahman relation or Paramatma relation. Actually, Krishna as a person, Bhagwan relation, that relation will be able to do by this process. And as we also earlier discussed, that if we are to dedicate our action to someone, then that person, has to be a person, right? Personality. And that way we can dedicate, just like we offer bhoga to Krishna as a person. We know that he can eat just by glancing, whatever bhoga is being offered. Or when we pray to Krishna, when we offer bhoga, so by our hearing our prayer, he can eat. So he's a person. So that relation is also comes through this process. So the learning from this is that our actions should not be done with the objective of enjoying the fruit. That is the fruity work, which will cause this perpetual bondage, which is compared as a deep-rooted banyan tree, whereby, moving from one branch to another, just like transmigrating from one body to another, due to unsatiated, unsatisfied desires. If we dovetail that in the service of Krishna, dedicated our actions to the satisfaction of Krishna, then that will cure this, perpetual bondage, and it will destroy this tree of work. As Prabhupada has mentioned, it will cut the roots of this banyan tree, and that will make us free to go back to Godhead. And some of the practical aspect of it, that we can follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, particularly making a habit of studying, reading his books on a daily basis, following all the principles, all the regulatory principles, instructions which he has given, and try to help in his mission as much as we can. That will make Prabhupada pleased. And once great devotees like Prabhupada is pleased, then we get all these transcendental qualities, and also we get this attachment to hearing. taste. We develop taste for the to doing more and more service to Krishna. So, okay, it's 9:05 already. So I will stop here, and I thank you all very much for your time. Hare Krishna. If anybody has got any question or comment, then please feel free. Is there anything on the chat? Let me see. No, no question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's very nice and fundamental lecture today. I have a basic questions. Generally, people say that no, I do puja, but it's very difficult to leave non-veg, or they want to have that test of jiva. So in that context, how scriptures talks about, like, how can guide if anyone like a kind of a good friend wanted to clarify.
Okay. So you said that's a nice lecture, but actually there is nothing which I am doing. I'm just trying to restate whatever Prabhupada has mentioned his purport. So actually his purport is so nice that whoever is speaking looks very nice. Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
coming back to your question. So you think that somebody who's very dear to you and is in habit of eating non-vegetarian just to satisfy his tongue, right? So how to
Yes.
get them on the right path, right?
Yes.
Okay. So process is already given. See, Prabhupada, what he did when he went to America, he just, he cooked everything by himself. In that advanced age, offered it to Krishna and, fed everybody who were, was attending those programs. So the best thing is to give them prasadam and harina. Somehow or other, if they are able to chant, take the name of the Lord, take prasadam, all these bad qualities will diminish gradually. They will have this understanding, realization, okay, that whatever I've been doing, there was something wrong with that. If we just keep on telling them, okay, you just stay away with it, that won't work. They need to get something of higher taste. So the prasadam and also the Lord's name. Somehow or other, get them involved in a program, join and do chanting, group chanting, participate in kirtan, etc. That will purify and their consciousness, and then gradually all these things will vanish. This is the thing which I would say, and this is what it works, and this is the prescribed method by acharyas as well. So this is, offer them prasadam, try to, involve them so that they recite the names of the Lord. That will gradually purify. Then, that person will realize that whatever I'm doing is wrong. At the moment, it is out of ignorance, actually. They don't just realize how wrong it is. Okay?
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yes, probably. We'll try to approach this method and try to guide them in a right path. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for amazing class. Actually, you just reminded, as Prabhuji said before, like very fundamental points. Also, like reminding us how much Prabhupada, had like undergone some like pain, how much time spent at night, like sleeping 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is all like, yeah, also reading about reading. And my realization today is knowledge, actually. So like when people, I mean, maybe what do you call it, like to answer to the previous question as well, like I don't know if we can say that as well, Prabhuji, maybe that can help. So like my realization today is getting knowledge is the way of reducing or like eliminating suffering, getting proper knowledge from proper source. Because yeah, otherwise if we don't know proper things, then we will continue like in this loop again and again, how you just nicely described. So yeah, getting proper knowledge is so important. I think I'm just reminding myself again, like thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that starts with association. Even if you see in the when Prabhupada is explaining the process, he's saying the first of all seek the association of pure devotees. You know that, and in the association of devotee, what will you do? You will do chanting, you will do kirtana, etc. You will hear about Lord's pastimes. You get prasadam as well, and that way purification process will start. Okay, I don't think we have any other question. If there are no other questions, then we can stop here at least. And yeah, I'm just thinking is
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Ram Kare Prabhu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. And
Yes.
thank you so much, all the devotees, for joining. I hope everyone is celebrating the Damodar month by offering lamp every day. So please continue to offer the lamp and inspire your neighbors, your friends, family, everyone. Thank you so much, devotees. We'll end here.
One more announcement, if I can